Welcome back to the 2019 Oceanic Championships here in Brisbane. We're heading into our top 8 now, so only 2 matches away from crowning who will be going to Worlds. And another exciting matchup, we have Kodai from yesterday playing
He's
his Sky Striker strategy once again.
a resident Japanese player versus our resident Malaysian player, Charles Liu. He's from Melbourne.
And
He
he's
top
playing Salamangrate. And
he
this is going
topped
to be a
yesterday as
very...
well.
Yeah, I think he did, yeah. So we've got a lot of consistent players playing both days very well.
Looking at our top 8, we have 3 Salamangrate players being Honor, Jono, and Charles Liu himself. We have 1 striker player being Kodai, 1 Orcus player being Stephen Lau, 2 Thunder Dragon players, Bowden and Nathan Gaddis that we just saw, and 1 Altergeist being Yuri Milenkov. It was unfortunate that the 2 of the 3 Altergeist players got paired against each other. Looking at the brackets, we can see that it's coming to an end. There's likely to be the Salamangrate on both sides and the Thunder Dragon on both sides, but only Geist, Orcus, and Striker on opposite brackets, so we might be able to see diverse finals.
We've got some crazy matchups here. We've got 2 national champions in Stephen Lau and Bowden Temnick going head to head.
Bowden Temnick is basically just an everything champion at this stage.
Yeah, he hasn't won an Oceanics before though, so maybe
No.
this will be the day.
Yeah, and then down there we have a YCS champion Honor versus
Two-time Worlds competitor Jono Ritzau, fresh out of retirement.
yeah,
He
alright.
could just go all the way. Could he go to Worlds a third time?
Everything's possible. Maybe Bowden and Jono both go to Worlds for a third
Wow,
time. Or
imagine that. That can possibly happen. They're on opposite brackets.
maybe we see fresh faces. Anyway,
Alright.
the match will start shortly.
So let's go through the deck list here. We have Charles Liu playing Salamangrate. The interesting tech is he's main decking Ghost Ogre, which we've seen fall out of favor a bit in the main deck
Yep.
as of late. But obviously it will actually help him in this matchup versus Sky Striker to deal with the multi-roll. He also main decks 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, which will also help in this matchup. And 3 copies of Call by the Grave, which hasn't been as common,
Yep.
but can also deal with things like Sky Striker Ray from coming back from the grave.
Yep, and Kodai playing 3 Metaverse like he did yesterday to try and get to Mystic Mine to control the board. He plays 2 Mystic Mines this time around. He really wants it.
Maybe he felt yesterday it was one of the best cards in his deck and the reason he did so well.
Yeah, he's still playing that. Oh, yeah, it looks like he has removed Signet Universe from his deck.
That's the same as Poe earlier when we saw his deck list.
Yeah.
So we're heading into the match now, hopefully. Yeah, obviously being top 8, you're only, like you said, 2 matches away from qualifying for World Championships.
Charles Liu's hand's got that beautiful
Oh.
ultimate rare effect Veil. He's got a Ash Blossom. He's got the Sanctuary that he doesn't want. He's got a Foxy, which is good. And he's got a Circle. His hand's actually pretty good.
That's why everyone draws Sanctuary playing
Yeah.
Salamangrate. It's just a given thing.
And we can see going first and going second is a pretty good. And Kodai's hand is Infinite Impermanence, Metaverse, Upstart, Ash Blossom, and
Ooh.
Shark Cannon. If he goes second, he has 2 draws to get to a Sky Striker card, but otherwise he has Metaverse to get to Mystic Mine to be able to slow the
Yeah.
game down.
I think that's the best part about playing the Metaverse. Mystic Mind strategy is, obviously that hand is not ideal, but it gives him turns to be able to play until he can play.
There's Courtesy Handshake right there, and it looks like Charles Liu will be taking play.
Ooh, he ashes the circle straight away, so playing really aggressive with that Ash Blossom.
Going for the Foxy, maybe.
Foxy's effect to add Gazelle from deck to hand, same as Area 0. Or in this case, he'll be adding Salamangrate Roar, which is also a fine choice.
Yeah, it's not bad. Because he can just make Bailings into Bailings, correct? But he does lose his chance of getting to Gazelle. It's going to be hard for him to play from here.
He has another circle in hand, so next turn he'll be able to access that Gazelle.
Did he have another?
Yeah, I think he had 2 circles and a Sanctuary.
No, it was a Circle, Sanctuary, Baylor, Ash, and Foxy.
Okay, so maybe not.
But his deck
Oh.
plays so many ways.
And Kodai draws the engage straight off the top. Doesn't even
Whoa.
have to use the upstart. You still use it now anyway.
Definitely.
That's time in the round.
Upstart
really.
Goblin, seeing what he draws.
Another engage. Oh, it is.
Whoa.
Oh, classic Sky Striker. Just didn't have it, so let's get it.
And looking at those beautiful flags, we have Kodai from Japan and Charles from Malaysia. It's great.
Welcome to Australian and New Zealand Oceanics. Here
He's
are
gonna
your Japanese and Malaysian champions.
Ashing that engage only to be met by a second engage.
At this point, you'll be thinking, really? You
No.
really have to? Oh, but he roars the second engage. And
But-
since he has no way to get to Ray, how's he supposed to get them back?
He still has the Mystic Mine. He can slow down the pace. But will Charles draw into a Cosmic Cyclone anytime soon?
Oh, he's drawn the other circle, or maybe he did have it.
He's playing in a zone that so that he doesn't get impermanence. It's A-OK from Kodai.
Reason these men are sitting in the top 8 right now.
That was a very wild turn 1 from Kodai. didn't resolve either engage, and it was crazy that he got 2 engages to begin with.
Yeah, he had 0 to start the turn and ended with 2 that both didn't resolve, so it all worked out.
Anytime he gets a Ray or a Hornet drones now, he's going to be in a really good position. It's interesting to see what Charles will do. He's going to normal summon the Gazelle.
Interesting that Kodai's not shotgunning the Metaverse to get the Mystic Mine up, so then the Gazelle won't resolve. But maybe he's just trying to make his opponent commit as harder to the board as possible.
Yeah, but then by thinning his deck, Charles will have increased chance of drawing to those Cosmic Cyclones.
So he's letting the Spinny resolve instead of using the Shark Cannon on it.
And Charles is playing crispy 40-card main deck. He's trying to get as streamlined as possible to be able to get to those Cosmic Cyclones. He's played against Kodai and Swiss yesterday at Nationals, and he knows what to expect. They both know each other's deck. So do you think the Mirage Stelio play will go through?
I think he'll summon Mirage, and then the Mystic Mine may come down. As we see the Stelio come down now, he's not responding, so he's just letting his opponent commit. He's going to probably use the Impermanence instead, yes, which is what happens here, but that's 1 less card for no cards committed for Charles.
Yep.
So he's just going to poke for 500, and I think it'll be met with a Metaverse for Mystic Mine, unless Kodai is fine with this happening.
Is there a reason why he's not just shotgunning that Metaverse? Maybe he's just going to take it really slow until he...
We saw this yesterday as well.
Where he just slow rolls it.
He just waited as long as possible to let his opponent commit and think that everything was okay, and then just made his comeback after that. But this time he decides it is time for the Mystic Mine to hit the field. And hopefully Charles didn't draw Cosmic Cyclone for turn for Kodai's sake.
He only plays 2 copies though, so it's going to be harder to get to it. It looks like he was only playing... Oh, it looks like he had 3 before and he cut that down to 2.
Wonder how much he's regretting that decision now.
He told me how he was frustrated with Mystic Mine. In fact, a lot of Kodai's opponents came up to me telling me that Mystic Mine is just not a good card for the game. It is really frustrating to play against, especially for a deck like Sky Striker, which can turn it off whenever it wants.
Yeah, I feel like the card is fine if it was just the effect negating effect.
Yeah.
But as soon as it became no battle either, it meant that there was no possible way to play around it, so it just became a really one-sided card.
Yeah. What is he linking into, do you think?
I think he just wants to link down to the Wolf.
Sunlight Wolf.
Yeah.
He's going to activate...
Does he have Rage? Is this why he's relinking?
Maybe.
If he has Rage. Oh, he's activating the Rules effect by relinking. That's even better.
Maybe he should have done that earlier. Oh, not that it wouldn't have made much
difference.
difference.
Oh, no. As soon as he got to that point, he needed to kind of make the Stelio play, otherwise he had no push.
Definitely. Maybe he'll be able to draw Cosmic Cyclone before Kodai gets to...
Well, surely he doesn't draw another engage.
That was an Afterburners.
Yeah, so that's not going to help him very much here.
Going to set 1 card and pass. What?
And Charles draws, I couldn't see that one, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure if it was a Cosmic Cyclone, he would have thrown it straight down on the table.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe you wait so that you can out 2 Mystic Mine. That's a Shark Cannon. That's also not a card you want.
Or was that a Cosmic Cyclone? I think that was a Cosmic Cyclone.
It's a Shark Cannon.
He's already got a Shark Cannon set. So now he's got a Cosmic Cyclone as well.
He plays 2 Shark Cannons.
Well, could be 2 then.
Oh, they're carefully choosing their zone.
It is a Cosmic Cyclone.
Carefully choosing their zone. Oh, that's a very inconsequential Cyclone banish.
But I think he had to do it because if it happened to be a Rage, then he just loses straight away.
Does Rage get... Oh, that's another Metaverse.
Oh, so that means he can make it again if the Rage hits.
But then this time around, he'll have the Rage to stop the Metaverse if he draws now. Them just passing very quickly. They don't want any time, especially because Kodai has a high Arcane Kinda to...
When this all started, Kodai had 1 card, and Charles had all the advantage, and instead Kodai activates Mystic Mine, and now he has 4 cards, and Charles still can't do anything. What a game.
He's drawing
you don't often see this many draw passes. Is Kodai just hoping that his opponent doesn't have an out, and will just win by deck out?
But I think Charles has to wait to a point where he has both Raw and Cyclone to be able to deal with 2 Mystic Mines. Or maybe he just thinks that Kodai only plays 1.
Well, he's just drawn the second one, so
the
that's
Metaverse is not live.
Yeah, so now he can actually Cosmic it and play straight away.
So it's just a race at this point.
So he's drawn another Gazelle.
It's strange, Kodai hasn't drawn any way to get to Ray.
Well, he used to engage on the first turn.
He has he has 3 Rays, a Reinforcement of the Army, a Hornet Drones, and a... Yeah, that's 5 ways to get to Ray.
He wouldn't want to use multi-roll and another Afterburners.
It's the first Afterburners. I think he only plays 2 Area Zeros.
Another Signet Mining. So, like...
Maybe
Charles is drawing a lot of good cards, but that Mystic Mine is just putting in so much work.
I think Charles should just start using Signet Mining to dig through his deck, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
You just want to get to those cyclones as soon as you can.
I don't know what else you can do here.
It's very different. People haven't been placed in this situation before. People don't really test against mind decks because they think it's unfun. But then you're going to get to a point where you need to test against it in a good controlled environment so that you know what to do when the situation comes up,
So
right?
he is using that Signet mining to dig for more. I assume that's in the middle zone because he's just activated on top of his graveyard.
But no impermanence was activated, so it should be fine. He's searching for foul.
So he's just going to dig through his deck, like you said. Hopefully he can draw those outs for his sake. Got Raged and 2 Cyclones, so 3 cards. Not unreasonable to think that after 5 turns of passing, he may draw it soon.
That's not impermanence, right?
Koda just doesn't have to do
So
anything.
the thing is, Charles has to be able to not only just cyclone the Mystic Mine, he has to be able to attack and win the game that turn. Otherwise, he'll be met.
With another Mystic Mine.
Yeah. It's just, wow, this is the wildest game I've seen in a while.
So Village Barrow Goods will help Kodai dig through his deck to try and find a way to play. So I remember when I was interviewing Nathan Gaddis after the previous feature match, he said the reason he sides Mystic Mine is that in the certain combo decks, you let them combo out their deck, you activate Mystic Mine, and then you wait until they deck out.
Or
And he
you
said
wait till you can kill them. And
well,
then
he said he resolved it twice yesterday where he just decked someone out.
or you,
That's a viable strategy, I guess.
it's a foolish burial goods, I think. He's just choosing not to advance his game.
Another Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, so again, no way to out that Mystic Mine. He has Vela, Ghost Ogre, Foul, Gazelle.
He's on 7 cards now, so you'll have to discard during the end phase. During the end of the turn.
I feel we may be in for an extremely long game 1, because by the time this does break down, there's every chance that we'll still have to see a
There's
result.
the Hornet Drones. Finally,
So
we can
he can
see
actually
some action.
make a play if he likes to. But he's going to activate that Barrel Goods first, probably sending the Fusion again to try and dig.
But the thing is, if he summons Kagari, it gets met by Vela. Like, he has enough ways to stop him, and then once he outs it, then he won't have a Raider summon back, and on top of that, they'll both be at 1 monster, so Mystic Mine will be destroyed at the end of the turn.
He'll have to obviously weigh up his options here. He's went from 1 card to like 10 cards.
They both did. Maybe he would just activate the Area 0. Maybe we have a 40-minute game 1. Ooh, he just passes.
So another Call by the Grave gets found. Not a Cosmic Cyclone.
Not even the worst card. Call by the Grave isn't even that bad to draw.
Oh, it's very good.
But zone placement is important.
Well, the more cards that Kodai sets, the more chance there is that he could set one into an impermanent zone.
Here's a multi-roll now. Gonna target the set card. Why Mystic Mine is in a monster zone. And the metaverse. And it passes. Wow, okay.
He's clearing up some zones, I guess. So there's a Phantasme, which also won't be helping him right now, but maybe when he decides to get rid of it, so he may have a second one.
That's a Widow Anchor. It's not doing anything at this stage in time. See, what Charles can also do is he can summon a Heatleo that's reincarnated, and then he can eventually just rage for like 4 cards. 3 cards.
That's true.
So here comes the Hornet Drones token. Hayate comes out. He'll be able to attack directly.
What does he send here off Hayate? Just another spell to get more engrave, or he's already got 2 engage sitting in there waiting?
Perhaps just Veiler it so he can't attack directly, and then you are on 9,000 life points. Get enough Veilers.
Well, even if Hayate connects, he still is above on life points.
He takes a 15. He'll go down to 75. Hayate will activate its effect.
He just sends anything here, right? Maybe a Widow Anchor, so if he activates a spell, he'll be able to set it. Going for the Eagle Booster, so he can access it if he needs to. I'm sure his next play will be Kagari, trying to get that engage back. There's the Ulti Veiler for the Ulti Kagari, the only way to negate an Ulti Kagari. Oh, he used multi-roll to try and send the Kagari to graveyard, but it was met with a Ghost Ogre, so now he still has the same amount of monsters on the field. Oh no, he's afterburners on his own monster.
I think I made an error in the standings, but I'll hopefully resolve that later.
So Kagari getting targeted here by the afterburners, so Kodai really wanted to use this Mystic Mine to full advantage, clearing his own monsters. I think he finally drew the Cosmic Cyclone.
Yep.
So he's just weighing up his options here, whether it's worth activating it straight away.
And he has to not just activate it, but he has to be able to put enough damage on the board to push for game.
Because he can't get that Roar back either.
Definitely.
Definitely has drawn the Cosmic. The only other play here is he resolves the Cosmic, plays out his turn, and then uses Gazelle to send Rage. And then he can reset Rage, and that way he has an out for the second Mystic Mine. That Cosmic Cyclone was basically free because of the Upstart Goblin activated on Kodai's turn 1.
I think there was an issue with the brackets. I'm not sure what's happening. Because Bowden and Jono apparently are playing in 5th, but they're 5th and 6th, so they shouldn't be on the same side of the bracket.
They're definitely not playing.
Apparently they are.
Roden was versing Onor when I walked over.
Was it?
So Gazelle's being summoned, so he's probably going to try and send the Rage here. So Kodai lets that resolve. So he's going to add back Ash Blossom off the Sunlight Wolf to turn off any future plays. Sending that Rage that we talked about, so he'll be able to add that back to his hand and have an out to this second Mystic Mine now. So, but it's met with an impermanence.
Ooh, that gets the A-OK. Does he have another way to be able to get that?
Yes, if he has a circle, he can add Valko to hand and discard it for Foxy's effect. And then reset the Rage that way.
Do you think he has a way to do that?
Oh, he had so many cards in hand, I would hope that he either has the Falco or a way to get to it. Instead, he's making the Heat Leo to try and clear the rest of the spell and traps. So he's going to target, I think that was a Shark Cannon from a long time ago. So the Widowmaker is chained. I wonder if Kodai is going to take control.
He might just. He's got no other spell and trap cards he might want to activate. Right, the last card's an Impermanence, I believe.
The unfortunate part for Charles here is now there's literally one card left in his deck that can out this Mystic Mine that's going to come down. Because he failed to find a way to get to Rage.
So there's the Falco.
Oh, the Falco. We did have it anyway, so he does have the out.
And then Foxy will be able to destroy, right?
It's not on the field anymore. It's for next turn.
Oh, right. No, the Fox when it's summoned.
Yeah, the Mystic Mine's already been banished by Cosmic Cyclone.
Right.
So he probably tried to use a heater play here. Make another Heat Leo.
What a big swing of a turn.
Does he want to relink something so then the Rage is live for 2? Or is he better off trying to just get the Heat Leo back and tribute one of the monsters he gets? Does he play a second Meta Archstellia or is he just forgetting he used it? He does play 2.
Yeah, he does play 2.
Very interesting. So this is actually very good for him right now.
Yeah.
I think he put back the Heat Leo that got taken and then relink it that way.
I've been told that there's an error on the brackets, but no one complains, so I think they'll just play on.
Interesting. As in, the results were wrong or the brackets were wrong?
The brackets were incorrect, so Bowden will be playing Jono. No one complained, so I think it's just going to go on like that.
Well, that's a mistake in the standings. 5th card versus 6th in the second round. Top 16.
But, I was told that the head judge gave them time to say something, but...
So using the Jaguar effect now, I think. Probably put back one of the Stelios, I assume, or maybe even one of the Sunlight Wolves so he can relink it.
Yeah. Because he wants to be able to use raw rage. I keep getting them mixed up,
I think he's gonna make. Oh, so he's getting the Shark Cannon on the Jack Jaguar.
but it still returns, correct?
No, it has to resolve the full effect. So just weighing up his final options here. He's pretty much used everything. He can't use Sunlight Wolf's effect to add back a trap or spell because it was impermanent earlier in the turn when he made the first one.
But I think he's still in a very good position
Oh
right now.
yes, having the Rage means that Mystic Mine in Kodai's hand is not doing much, and he added back Ash Blossom off the Wolf effect as well.
Doesn't he have an afterburners though?
And Afterburners,
Yeah, so
he
you can-
used it,
Oh.
I believe. And if he didn't, there's still a Balinx in the graveyard. He used it on his own monster to clear the Kagari.
Hmm.
So not much left of his deck because of obviously the turns of drawing and passing.
Yep.
So Kodai draws another multi-roll, but Charles still has a Ghost Ogre in hand, so
Yeah.
that's not going to be helping him very much.
So that Mystic Mine did slow down the game, but Charles was able to win that race, just drawing to get to a way to out it before Kodai could get to a way to play. He's thinking about his turn really well,
So he's going to Widow Anchor to probably attempt to steal the Sunlight Wolf.
and then he won't be able to.
We can still Rage tributing one from hand, assuming he has one. Well, if not, he'll eventually get the Wolf back and then be able to do it anyway.
I guess multi-roll would just get rid of it.
Oh,
all.
that just gets rid of it. Or an Area 0. So now he's playing Sky Striker the way it normally is played. He's going to dig and try to hit that third copy of Engage. Charles decides to Ash the Area 0, not to take any chances.
Please give me a moment. I'm going to disappear for a bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to fix
So
it up.
Ogre comes down to negate the multi-roll. So now it's a situation where Kodai probably can't get back to Ray, and he's in a very unfortunate situation. Charles still has one card left in hand and Rage set, so he has an out to the Mystic Mine anyway. So Kodai's just going to punch for 1800, try to get some of that damage in before he has to hand back the Sunlight Wolf. The combination of Ash and Ogre, they're really coming in clutch to stop any way that they could clear the Sunlight Wolf after using Widow Anchor. Kodai's taking a moment now to figure out what he wants to do because I think he's not in a great position. Both players on 4700, really interesting. So the Mystic Mine does come down. Just pretty much depends if Charles has another Salamangreat card in hand. So we're about halfway through the round now, still in game one, and as we've seen with cards like Mystic Mine and the Sky Striker strategy by itself, just slowing games down and making it go. Charles decides it's not worth to commit 2 cards to deal with 1 Mystic Mine and passes his turn. Kodai has a Cosmic Cyclone and another Area 0. So again, he just can't get to Ray. I think at no point he's seen a Ray. The only time he linked someone was using the Hornet Rooms. So the Rage is forced here with the Cosmic Cyclone. And the Mystic Mine getting destroyed. So both players on 1 or 2 cards. It's a very interesting game state. Mystic Mine just slowed the game down completely. Now if Charles can find a way to play here, he may be able to put damage on board. Oh, and he draws Signet Mining. This could just be it, depending what's left in his deck. All he has to do is 3,700 and he has access to Jack Jaguar and Spinny in the graveyard. Oh, he adds Lady Debug off Signet Mining. So, Bug will resolve. Probably getting him a Spinny. So he's probably going to activate the Fox effect to get another one out. Then he can bring back the Spinny, and I think that's just game anyway. 20, 38, yep, 39, that's enough. Because he paid for Cosmic Cyclone, he puts himself to 3-7, and that's game 1. So well played by Charles Liu, coming back from the Mystic Mine. Both players just drawing and passing for multiple turns until eventually he drew an out, and then he won the race to the end. So going into game 2 now. So me and my great co-commentator Yahweh, he's just going to sort something out with the pairings, which is fine. If I have the other deck list, which I don't. So I'm just going to check out Charles Liu's side deck here. He has Imperial Order in his side deck along with 3 copies of Twin Twisters and 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance, which would be really good in this matchup. Unfortunately, he will be going second with those cards, but I think either way Imperial Order should come in. along with Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Unfortunately, yeah, we took the other deck list, so we'll have to wait for that one. He's also siding Super Polymerization instead of maining it, which is a very interesting choice, considering a lot of the decks that we watched today playing Salamangreat were just maining the Super Polymerization. It was very high impactful, especially against the Dark decks and the Mirror Match. But you could definitely see the two Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit coming in that matchup. Like, I'm not sure if he sided it just specifically for that, or it could also come up against Thunder Dragons. He also sides 2 copies of Crackdown, which is interesting. I'm not sure going second if that card will come in, but still a very interesting choice.
Sorry. I've been told that KTS provided the brackets the way it did, and we're going to play on from that.
Very, very interesting. Do you have the other deck list?
I don't know where I left it, sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, Charles ended up getting there in game 1.
Yep. Wait.
So we're heading into game 2, most likely with Kodai going first.
I think in that pandemonium, I just left the deck list out there. Sorry about that.
That's alright. We pretty much know Kodai's list from yesterday anyway. I'm not sure if it changed much.
I do know that there's still a Dogwood in there, which he used in the last round to one of the rounds to tie with Cyber Dragon.
Well, we're past 20 minutes into the round now, so there's a good chance that could actually come in again.
Yeah. Do you think? Thank you. I think.
I definitely thought Imperial Order comes in first or second, and 3 copies of Twin Twisters.
He just needs to get rid of the mine. Do you think the anti-spells will come in?
It's a really tough choice, because if he's assuming he's going second, they're not the best, but they also keep putting them back 1 turn, so it could be worth it.
And then Pankratops, we'll probably see that going.
Oh, going second for sure, because it also can out any like multi-roll or anything going second.
Definitely, and yeah. The Kodai, I'm assuming we'll be able to try and play cards that also remove back row.
Yeah, I assume he's playing the same side deck as yesterday. But I'm not 100% sure if it was included evenly matched or anything like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we've now found the deck list for Kodai.
He has 2 Prankdogs, 1 Ghost Ogre, 2 Dogwoods this time, 2 Lanciers, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 different Dimension Grounds, 3 Shared Rides, 1 Mystic Mine, 1 Evenly Match.
So after yesterday when he said Dogwood wasn't very good, he decided to up it to 2 instead of 1, so he could see if it actually wasn't very good or not.
I believe he's going to bring in the different Dimension Grounds, possibly the Mystic Space Typhoon, possibly another Mystical Mine.
Definitely different Dimension Ground. That is crippling to Salamangreat's strategy of getting cards in the graveyard and accessing them back to your hand. You can definitely see the Ghost Ogre impact. It ended up winning in the game, not allowing Kodai to get the
Kodai's hand. Oh, can we just see it? It's Shared Ride, Ray, Metaverse, Impermanence, and Ash Blossom.
So he finally sees Ray after all these turns.
He doesn't have an Engage to pair it with.
So Charles Liu, looking at his hand, he got the Imperial Order.
The Foxy, the Foul.
He's got Circle as well. That is an amazing hand. And he's already up a game. He could be looking at a very quick game too.
Kodai does not have any way to remove the Imperial Order, right?
Not in his hand. He has to set the Impermanence in the same column, but if he sets it first, who would know?
And I'm pretty sure Charles would play at a level where he just knows not to play it, not to put his cards in the same column as his opponents.
It's very unfortunate for Kodai. He just hasn't drawn amazing in both games after all this time getting in the top 8 and
Enphase Shizuku will activate. Oh, this is gonna be.
Hate to see it, but it's actually working out for him. He'll get access to Engage.
Definitely put
but there's an Imperial Order.
Rough. Got to play the zones well. Not hopefully just dodge another Impermanent.
So he draws Falco, which is another monster, which works out.
Yeah.
So as long as this order gets sent in the right place, it will just be enough. So he's activating Circle, which should probably get met with the Shared Ride to give him some draws. The gold rare Shared Ride even.
I don't believe that Salamangreat search that much. I mean, he can just.
It's more because it's grave to hand as well. So if they activate Sunlight Wolf's effect at any point, they also give them cards.
Draws another spell card. Do you think Kodai chose to put that Mystical Space Typhoon in?
Oh, depends if he assumes there'll be anti-spells or something when he's going first.
Kodai does have the Nightmare Phoenix though. He can possibly use that to destroy.
Just has to draw another monster, right? So Charles is carefully playing up his options. He obviously knows his hand is very good. Just wants to know if it's worth pushing into the Shared Ride even more, knowing that he has Imperial Order set, or he'd rather not let his opponent have an opportunity to draw to his outs. So we see the Chain Link 1 Foxy, Chain Link 2 Foul.
Yep.
Getting a lot of monsters on the field.
He can also just push for damage as well, so that he doesn't lose out to his own Imperial Order, because it's 13 minutes on the clock. Imperial Order might just cost too much life points.
He was using Foul's effect to lock down the back row. That effect is not once per turn, and tributes his cost.
Oh,
it's a very good card. Gaiaco, but infinite. He's doing it again. And then now this Chain Link resolves, he'll be able to activate Gazelle. Oh, but he's activating the Metaverse.
Very, very, very.
It's good and bad. He has a monster in the field, so we could just see Charles Liu here link into a Sunlight Wolf, set Imperial Order, and pass.
Yeah, Sunlight Wolf. And he can also just attack over the Shizuku if he likes, with the Sunlight Wolf.
He can also just link into Sunlight Wolf, then use Foxy's effect to destroy the Mystic Mine.
Foxy effect?
Yeah, if he has the same amount of monsters, he can use Foxy's effect in grave to discard a card and destroy the Mystic Mine. The whole effect is from the graveyard.
And then he would just add it back with Sunlight Wolf, right? Sunlight Wolf.
Or he can just destroy the Mystic Mine, then set Rage and pass.
True, that is very good.
He probably wants to avoid using Balinx's effect here to get the field spell, because that will just give Kodai another chance to draw it out.
He's choosing not to go for the Sunlight Wolf play. Oh, mate, he might. He's going through his extra. He's 12 minutes on the clock. He might want to pick it up, especially with Imperial Order costing him 700 every turn.
You could also just make the Nightmare Phoenix and out the mine that way. But I think you'd rather use the Fox effect, discarding Falco, so he can reset that Rage.
And then Sunlight Wolf will be able to add, right? If he summons Fox.
Yes, it will. So he could just pass, and the mine will destroy itself. So that's what he's choosing to do instead. And he's got Imperial Order set, and this could just be the end.
But he does have another monster, so he can make. So if he wants to, he can make Nightmare Phoenix.
He's just letting it resolve. He's giving him a monster.
I think he's just making him not play. I think he's just trying not
to play. Yeah, let him commit
until his turn, where he just flips the Nightmare Phoenix, right? Imperial Order.
Yep.
Very well executed by Charles.
But if he activates the engage he drew, do you just activate the order? Do you just have to? He does.
But now he can just make Nightmare Phoenix. But in saying that, if he makes a Nightmare Phoenix...
That's probably fine. I would happily trade Imperial Order for him making a Nightmare Phoenix and then just discarding another card.
This is not looking good for Charles, though. Because in making Nightmare Phoenix, the engage becomes live again.
I feel like making the Rage play, where you discard for Foxy, destroy Missing Mine, and set Rage, would have allowed him to stop this from happening.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Because then he could have relinked the Wolf as well. And chosen to get the circle back if he wanted to just give Kodai another card to give himself another card.
Go for the Nightmare Phoenix now.
Charles doesn't have a Veiler in hand by any chance.
Not that I'm aware of.
Will Kodai put this in front of the Wolf to get the draw?
Might try.
Oh, if he does that though, he turns himself with his Sky Striker engine, so he probably can't do that.
Discard the Mystic Mine.
So he sacrifices the Mystic Mine. Does he play a third in the side, so there's a chance he has 3?
He does play a third Mystic Mine in the side.
And this time the engage will probably resolve. And there's definitely 3 spells in grave, so this game could start to turn the other way. We would have thought Imperial Order with Rage and just didn't work out. Definitely shouldn't be rearranging his graveyard, but that's okay. So the judges will be on top of that.
He's going to engage. He's going to be able to get it. Did he get a draw?
So he either chose not to draw or we didn't see it, but he's got the Widow Anchor. Might push for some damage here, knowing that there's 9 minutes left on the clock.
Cutting it close. If I was Charles Liu, I'd probably consider conceding right now.
His hand's not that bad, but the damage here could just be enough.
Because Kodai still has a infinite permanent set, correct?
That is true.
Do you think he's going to link away the Sunlight Wolf so that Charles doesn't get it back?
Well, the Phoenix is the same as any other Link monster. That's not a Scar Striker, so I think that's just what he has to do.
I think he might just make the Amber Whale here.
Big Whale.
Or he can make Avramax.
Oh, Avramax. He does.
Can't be targeted. Salamangre do struggle to out it.
Best way I normally out this card is with Fusion of Fire or Super Poly, so... In this situation, I don't think Charles is going to do that, and he doesn't even play Fusion of Fire in the main anyway.
I've been told that Yuri has defeated Stephen Lau. My brackets don't match that, but Yuri will be going on to the top 4. Stephen Lau will be going home in top 8. We're still proud of Stephen Lau.
Well done to Steven. Unfortunately, missing out in top 8, but did really well to make it this far.
Mm-hmm. Acting infinite impermanence on Gazelle.
Does he have any other outs to Avramax? I don't think he does. He doesn't play Borreload either. I'm not sure he even has an out.
I mean, Violet Chimera, right?
Yeah, but how does he make it? He wouldn't have started Super Poly in for this matchup.
That is true. Maybe he'll reconsider it this time round.
Is it just can't be targeted or can't be destroyed?
Oh, he turned it to
Oh, the Cosmic comes down this time. On the Cosmic Cyclone.
on 33. Does he have any plays though?
Well, if he survives and the Falco sets the rage and he can get to a relinked monster, then he can out the Avramax that way. I feel like that's his only way.
He can search Sanctuary now.
Yes.
He might just be able to do it now.
Oh, it's the Gazelle. He could just do it anyway.
He returned it to the hand with Falco.
Yep, and then he can relink the Sunlight Wolf and get himself a rage. He's probably just making sure now that the rage will be able to destroy it.
He's just double checking. You don't want to miss anything at this time, especially when they're so close to the World's Invite.
So he's making sure with Avramax. I'm pretty sure it only just can't be targeted and has the effect to gain attack points when it gets attacked or attacks a monster. Didn't Gazelle get impermanence? Oh no, he's just activating Balinks, don't worry.
That was during the end phase.
Oh, is that an Ash Blossom?
I believe so.
Did he just wait till he searched, then Ash him? Maybe he was still thinking and there's a bit of a communication loss there.
But I think he's still fine right now, right? He's still got...
he can't get a monster back. Unless that card in hand's a Salamangreat, I don't think he's able to get to Rage.
It's a Sanctuary.
No, he just Ashed the Sanctuary.
No, he got the Sanctuary. He Ashed the Gazelle effect to send.
Oh. I swear Gazelle was activated in this turn and impermanenced.
No, it would
have normal summoned it.
I don't know. Possibly.
I think he Ashed the Sanctuary. At the search of Sanctuary.
He's going for Sunlight Wolf. Or you go for Heater as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, that is the Sanctuary. He got it.
He did the Sanctuary. Okay, cool. So I'm not sure if he was able to activate that that Gazelle, but I'm sure the judges are onto that. Either way, he's managed to get to the point where he can out that Avramax, and if Kodai doesn't draw an out now, he may just be in trouble anyway.
And Kodai drew a spell card, I saw, from what I saw. This is getting really dicey. There's a Balinks in the graveyard to protect it from being destroyed by battle.
Well, Charles losing the optimal position here. Because he won game 1, and worst case, if they draw this, he gets 2 turns each in sudden death. There's no way he can lose from this position. The match anyway. Kodai, on the other hand, really needs to win this one to force it to a 3rd game or sudden death.
Charles thinking.
He's going to swing and force the rage.
No, he can just protect with Balinks, right?
Can.
But he might just take too much damage.
Well, that's 3k damage. He's going to be on 300 life points.
Yeah.
Better know what he's doing. So just weighing up the options again for Kodai. He also drew a spell that can interact in some way. I think he drew a Shark Cannon and decided not to set it. So Charles Liu activating Sunlight Wolf to add back the circle. Okay, so just a bit of a communication lapse there. He activated Balinks and forgot to banish it from the graveyard, so they're just making sure that the Sunlight Wolf was still on the field.
4 minutes on the clock. Do you think Charles can win this turn?
Can't win this turn, but he can get into a position where he puts a lot of damage on board and has enough negates for Kodai's turn. It just depends if he has enough time to do so. So he's adding the spinny off the circle.
Yep.
Wonder if Kodai deciding not to set that Shark Cannon will come back to hurt him in any way.
Gonna summon back the Foxy. I think Charles really needs to play a little bit faster if he wants to be able to win.
So hopefully he doesn't think the Stelio can bounce this.
I'm sure he knows better. I think he just wants to use it to summon as many monsters as he can. Summon Gazelle, send that trap card.
Get as many as he can to the graveyard, so then he is able to be in a position where he can't possibly lose. I think Jack Jaguar is probably correct here.
But why? What's he trying to achieve? He really needs to step on it. For us, this will go to a game 3.
He's going to have to activate the Rage at some point, which he's doing now. He'll destroy the Abramax, which will send a card on the field to the graveyard. Assuming Kodai activates that effect. He is. Obviously thinking, but still has to play at a reasonable pace.
Yep. He needs to step on it.
Well, Kodai's thinking what to send. So he still has to. He's the one who has to decide now.
I think he sent the Sunlight Wolf, right?
I think you have to.
There's
He's
a
going to send it.
Jack.
Oh, he shuffles. It shuffles.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's almost half the damage he needs to do. So he's going to do that.
It's 3,800 damage.
If he has no out to Ray here, then Kodai can just summon Hiate and attack for game.
That's a Shark Cannon.
Interesting he chose not to set it.
What's he going for?
I know, but he needs to do it fast.
Yep. I think at this point, what's the draw?
It's
That's a different dimension ground. Oh,
That's far
I believe
too
it's
late.
over.
You can set the Shark Cannon to summon a monster back to block an attack.
But then
That
Mirage
could-
Stalio might just,
Yeah, but that could be when they attack, so it could be too late.
or you could just summon Helio, try and get.
Yeah, if he can force it with Heat Leo first, then...
I think Charles just needs to.
Well, he's got 2 minutes and 15 seconds to make sure he can finish this off. If he has another foul in the deck, which I don't think he does, unfortunately it's only the one foul. So he's going to put that Jaguar back again. So a different dimension grant is activated now. So that Stelio won't be able to resolve anyway. He does not have time.
I think he could just attack now, right?
Yeah, but then the Shark Cannon will block the attack, and then you have to pass and give him another turn.
But the
Oh, the
Kodai,
Rage.
if Kodai doesn't have a play, he has to just to draw and pass, right?
So we have to activate this now. Hope he's actually thinking about this play, not just trying to run the clock down.
Yeah, you wouldn't want an infraction at this stage.
Yeah,
in time.
definitely not.
I think you just use the one with the highest defense.
Has to make a decision. So he's deciding to get the Falco.
Gonna attack, I believe.
He's got a minute. He needs to now. So he's trying to activate Fox's effect. So he's going to do that. And Spinny. So he's relinking the Heat Leo.
Or Helio. I think this might be enough damage.
So he's going to make Heat Leo and Spinny's make it 18. So
That's-
18 gets up.
That's
and
enough
then
damage.
12, 46, and that's game. So well played to Charles Liu. He'll be heading on to the top 4 for a shot at World Championships.
Yep.
Oh, what a game. Well played by
Charles Liu's
both players. Kodai obviously not opening as optimal as he would have liked. But overall, well played by both players. Played through Mystic Mind really well. They played out a great game. Congratulations to Kodai. Had a great weekend, obviously.
Yep.
But he make it the top 4 of Nationals and top 8 of Oceanics. That's a very impressive record.
I've also been told that Honor has defeated Nathan Gaddis in Top Cut.
So Honor will also have a shot at the World Championships.
So we have Honor, Charles Liu, the winner of Bowden and Jono,
And
Yuri.
And Yuri, who defeated Stephen Lau.
So we have 2 new faces and 2 old
Two
faces.
big old faces that
Yeah.
have played there many times before. So hopefully we'll be back with a short interview quickly before the top 4, and we'll be back soon. Hello, welcome back to the 2019 Oceanic Championships. We are here with our feature match top 8 winner, Charles Liu. How are you feeling after that one?
I don't know, man. I feel like I made so many misplay. The future match pressure.
It's okay.
Man.
It all worked out in the end, so you did really well. So moving into top 4 now, how nervous are you having a shot at competing at the World Championships?
I don't know. I think my next opponent is either Bodum or Steven.
Apparently they're just sorting out the brackets now. There's a couple of
Yeah.
different matchups. Steven actually was defeated by Yuri.
Oh, okay.
And Onor defeated Nathan Gaddis, and
Oh.
Jono and Bowden are playing off now for the other spot. So I'm not sure which bracket you're on now, because I think there was a difficulty with the brackets. It might have changed or something, or we had it slightly wrong.
Yeah, because yesterday when I at Nets during top 16 when I was against Bodum,
Yep.
and he wrecked me like two nails.
So I assume you're hoping not to verse Bowden.
Yeah, that's my only hope. My brother was
Yeah.
like, before I come in here, he was like, if you don't face Bowden, you probably can represent. If you face
Yep.
Bodum, it's like chances
Then
are
good
low,
luck.
but you have to, you have to do it. Yeah.
So I like your deck list. It's very clean. The choice to play Ghost Rider and the Snow Rabbit looked like a
Yeah.
last minute decision.
Yeah,
was
it's a
that
last
was
minute
that for Sky Striker?
Yeah, it's mainly for Sky Striker because like
'Cause I saw it work out there where he took your Sunlight Wolf, and you had
Yeah.
2 ways to stop him from getting
Yeah,
rid of it. It worked
exactly, yeah.
perfectly.
I mean, before coming into today, and because yesterday my only loss was the Sky Striker, so I was like, why not make the deck like so that I can have something to against Sky Striker.
Yeah.
So the Ghost Ogre was there, and then I think Ghost Ogre was just good against every.
It's
deck
good against Thunder
except-
Dragon too,
yeah,
and it's really just not great against.
only
Yeah, Salamangreat. Yeah,
and
but it still does has uses. Like you can hit a
Yeah.
Stelio before there's a Balinx and like
Yeah,
Gazelle and stuff like that.
because I was confident in the mirror since yesterday the national until today, I haven't dropped a single game
Wow.
against a mirror.
So hopefully you
Yeah.
verse the mirror in top 4, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
The other interesting choice was to side super polymerization instead of maining it. What made you decide to do that?
Same thing as like the Sky Striker thing because like my hardest matchup was Sky Striker, right?
Yeah, you wanted-
for me, yeah. So I don't want to have like more cards that can't deal with the deck. So
Yeah,
so
that makes
I was-
sense.
yeah.
Awesome. So congratulations on that
Thank
match.
you, thank
So we wish you all the best in top 4, and hopefully we'll see you in the finals, maybe.
Alright, hopefully. Yeah.
Alright,
let's
good
hope
luck.
for the best. Thank you.